Photographers of Reddit, what is the most outrageous photo shoot request you have received from an Instagram influencer? Had an influencer try to set up a shoot with me. When I mentioned my price, she was shocked because she was under the assumption that I was going to pay her for some reason. I work at a hotel and it's unbelievable how many of these dipshits want to stay for free in exchange for a post. Our marketing research shows they have almost zero ROI. Ask them to pay full price, but that you'll give them discount vouchers for their followers to redeem at your hotel, and they will be reimbursed based on the number of vouchers redeemed. Easy to tell and control your ROI there. This person influences. Influences influencers. Influences. Someone asked me to shoot her entire wedding, a full day, an engagement photo shoot underwater. I do underwater photography also, and some honeymoon shots somewhere. All for exposure. I straight up said no, politely, and she kicked off in a patronizing way, asking me if she knew who she was and what it would do for my career. She had about 10K less followers than I did, and I don't even do weddings, as I had pointed out, so it wasn't even in my best interest even if she had millions of followers. Oh, and an influencer guy asked me to do a nude photo shoot for him for free. I declined but wished him luck. He then sent a dick pic. I reported him. Had someone asked me to do more than a week of videography for them and create a promo video for $200. Not a day. For the whole week. Assuming 8 hours a day, 5 business days, that would come out to $5 an hour. Jesus Christ, that's less than minimum wage. The entitlement of some people. When I said no, they said they had tons of people that would do it for free. Then I politely told them to go with the free one, that definitely exists. It's so funny awkward when they act like they have better options and they're doing you some kind of favor. Those influencers have very little return on investment. Remember that one girl with 2.6 million plus followers who was unable to sell 36 t-shirts at like $20 each and was crying how no one cares. She needed to cross the 36 t-shirt mark to get endorsed. Insider.com. Cause her followers are all fake or inactive, and it's IG. Most cases aren't like that. Content creators with 500K subs can make decent money from merch, if it's good, cause a content creator's personality is more relatable for audiences on. A YouTube subscriber is far more invested than an IG follower. They subscribe to see all your videos. This means sitting and watching you for 30 minutes a week or 20 minutes a day. Most IG followers don't look at that channel for 10 minutes total. It's just another picture in your feed to see and swipe past. Even videos are very short. Not nearly enough to get anyone to buy merch. YouTube creator, here's a video on how to upgrade your Kraft mac and cheese. Instagram influencer, here's my butt. Look at it. Influencer asked me to shoot, and before I even had the chance to give her my prices, she decided to give me hers. Over $300 for me to shoot with her for 30 minutes. One of her main selling points was she could teach me how to leverage and grow my social media. Girl was 15. Added to clarify, she was asking me to pay her $300 plus, when in reality at a minimum she should be paying me. I don't even charge that much, haha. A few years back I was in Acadia National Park and we did the Beehive Trail hike. For those unfamiliar, it's basically as close to rock climbing as you can get non-harnessed, as you are going straight up a cliff on iron rungs and stuff, so super fun, and you are rewarded with an amazing view at the top. Most people take a quick snap there at the lip, as most do at the peak of their hike, and then move on to the more rocky area, but less a nice view, to rest. Anyway, while we were there resting, 2 Instagram girls got to the top and promptly took over the best view of the lip to take various yoga poses. Because that was totally a natural thing to do after scrambling up a cliff. For at least 10 minutes families were coming up asking if they could take a picture, but they literally said we were here first and we'll be here a while when asked if they were almost done. We ended up leaving before they were done, but it still boils my blood thinking about it. I would just photobomb all their pictures until they left. I can't stand people like that. Did this at Willis Tower in Chicago. We paid $20 to go on a ledge, and I will be damned if some Instagram models are going to take over a ledge for themselves. I felt similar when on vacation in Japan, especially Kyoto. The hike up Fushimi Inari is gorgeous, and everyone wants to get a photo of themselves under the gates without people in the background, which ends up blocking progress up the mountain. I'd give everyone in front of me the chance for a couple pics. It only took a few seconds each time. But anyone who tried to hog the path beyond that amount of time? I just continued on. It's possibly the most iconic tourist attraction in Japan. I'm not going to wait all day for a photo shoot to occur in front of me. The place is also really empty at 4 to 5 a.m., prime time for photo shoots because the sun is already up at that time, but that's too much work, of course. Probably way better feeling too. I went in late August and it was disgusting sweaty. I do documentary film and I had a non-film job in college, and I met this lady who was maybe 30, asked me to do an Instagram video like this, and she showed me a professional video shoot done with a green screen, lights and set. I told her I could probably get pretty close to quality with my university's equipment, but it would take time to get a crew together, reserve a studio. She told me no, that I should just record it with my phone. I told her that's not what they did for the Instagram video she just showed me, and she said it's on Instagram, that means they recorded it with their phone. She dropped it after a mention I charge money and wouldn't just do it to be nice. She has like 10 followers and 3 of them were porn bots. Edit: I've had 3K karma for like 2 years. Lamau. Not a photographer, but one of my acquaintances is a semi-popular influencer. She spends way too much time to see authentic and down-to-earth. One time at a small party I did something funny that made a bunch of people laugh. Whatever it was wasn't caught on camera, and she forced me to recreate the moment so that she could film it for her Instagram stories. You're not having fun unless you can prove it to your thousands of followers, apparently. Do that spontaneous thing again. Do it. Everyone needs to know how much fun we're having. BTW, there was a great Always Sunny where D was essentially trying to do this. Edit: fellow Redditor pointed out the episode of Always Sunny was S14E07, The Gang Solves Global Warming, and thank you for the gold. A bald guy asked me to Photoshop veins in his head to make his head look like a giant penis. He was some kind of businessman who was selling audiobook. Dickhead move. This man always thinks with his penis. But alas, his efforts were in vain. Beat pooped some influencer that was promoting betadine in Beats' healthy diet. She wanted me to take images of the colored change poop. That this is actually normal in those that can't process the betadine. That week, my DSLR was dropped hard, and now I am without it. It was a bad week. The strangest thing to me about this is not the fact that she wanted pictures of the poop, but that she wanted someone else to take the pictures. Yuck. Also, sorry about your DSLR. I had a client ask me to Photoshop his head onto another guy's body because he liked the shirt the other guy was wearing more than his own. I actually did it because it was hilarious and he paid me for it. I was in NY once and this girl, should be in her 20s, approached me and told me to take her photo. I thought it would be some general request. But still, to stand up to my pride, I lowered the camera to gain an architectural perspective. But then when I look at her, she was standing in middle of the road, one arm on a car, that she must have stopped cause the traffic was ongoing, and the other holding a banner that said, "Life." To this day I had no idea what I just witnessed. Yeah. Being from NY, I learned from a young age to just tell tourists to duck off when it comes to pictures in general, few exceptions like when they're not being obnoxious. Since then, it's only gotten worse with the rise of Instagram and flex culture. You live anywhere near internationally famous landmarks, expect to be bombarded with picture requests. The same issue happened to a really unique and beautiful flower field out in California not too long ago, where models would take pictures in the flower fields and end up causing damage to the flowers and leveling them out. The owner of the property ended up firing back by closing the place temporarily or something. Edit: apparently I'm confusing Daffodil Hill in NorCal and a famous poppy field that's maintained by local government. Oddly enough, similar incidents occurred at both, which made news. Yeah, being from NY, I learned from a young age to just tell tourists to duck off when it comes to pictures in general, few exceptions like when they're not being obnoxious. I really like taking photos for tourists. I'm not a photographer, but I'm decent at framing and whatnot. And it's like, I'm making the photo that they're always going to use to remember their trip. That and all the phones and cameras I steal that way. I very nicely asked a man in the West Village to take my wife and his pic on Jones Street. Once I showed him the Bob Dylan album cover we were trying to recreate, he had us move and stuff to get a better angle. Being nice goes a long ways. I travel a lot and I try to be as nice as possible.